welcome to or welcome back to my channel. So last week we went through 12 popular questions that are frequently asked by someone or persons who have intentions to come to study abroad in Germany. So this week I thought it would be appropriate or helpful to hear from 2 or 3 students who have been here, existing students who are actually studying here as international students studying abroad. I totally know that sentence made sense because I was tripping on myself. So yeah, so you won't see much of me because I'll be behind the camera asking the questions, but I just want you to hear from quote unquote the horse's mouth how their experiences have been, and of course they're from different countries, so you will hear from each student what the process was like for them, the experience in terms of from everything from food, from social relations, to just adjusting to a new country, the language as a struggle, whether it was a struggle or whether it was easy for them to overcome, all of that. So let's just get straight into it.
Hi, my name is Sabina. I'm from Lithuania, but I live in the UK, and I'm an exchange student in Germany.
Hey, I'm Hoptan. I'm from Jamaica, and I'm an international student in Germany.
Hello, my name is Olumide. I'm an international student studying architecture here in Germany, and I'm from Nigeria, and I'm my second year.
So why did you guys decide to study abroad?
I lived in Liverpool for over 5 years, and I thought I'd like to have like a change of scene, I guess. And I thought a lot of people has like good reviews, that gave me good reviews about this university in Germany. Yeah, I thought I might try it, and a lot of people went. So I guess, yeah, I just sort of relied on other people's experiences.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
For me, I just wanted a change in scenery as well, changing point of view. So I decided to come here to experience life from a different
perspective.
Exactly.
Okay, totally understandable. So now I know most people tend to want to know like how the process is to get here, but first and foremost you have to apply. So how did you guys go about applying, and when did you think was a suitable time to actually apply for school internationally?
I think there was sort of like a prescribed way of applying here, and our university sort of guided us through it. So whenever we had to do something, they would email us, and we would have to like send them documents or send them like information about ourselves, or like pay for something. So it wasn't really our choice, I guess. Like we sort of followed the rules mostly. Yeah, but like when I actually was thinking about applying, it was back in like 2015, when I was finishing my BA, and that's when I sort of knew the background, and I knew that people usually go here, so I was sort of ready 2 years before I actually came.
Okay, so you thought about this for 2 years before making a decision.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, awesome. Hoptan, I know the experience in the Caribbean tends to be a bit different. Tell us a bit about that.
First, there's no best time to apply. Just apply.
That's your advice. Just apply.
Just apply.
No thinking it over.
No, it's not thinking. Just apply.
Okay.
It's free. So you just apply, and then I think you either get in or you don't. But if you do get in, the most confusing part is finding an apartment. Finding an apartment in a place where you don't speak the language. In a place where you have no friends.
Are you trying to depress everybody?
Oh no! What? Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good.
Tell us some positives about the actual application process. Because I mean, yeah, you apply, you get into the school, but then what? No, I mean the actual process. I mean, to get here from the Caribbean, there is a process.
Normally you take a plane.
Kill me.
Most people take a plane. There are people that take like boats.
That's not how you apply.
So
Kill me. Anyway, all right. So basically, Right. Would you say that studying abroad is expensive? I know that expensive is relative to everybody's budget and what you earn, but I mean, just overall, would you guys say that studying abroad has been seriously expensive?
I think I have like two completely different experiences here because I am from Lithuania and I studied in England, and I guess I paid a lot of money for my education over there. So it's definitely very expensive in England. But then Germany, comparing to, if I compare prices in Germany to what the university costs back in England, it's a lot cheaper. I know that a lot of people still do think that it's a lot of money. And the thing is, we don't pay for tuition fees here. So yeah, so this university still costs me the same amount of money as my British uni. I just don't pay this uni directly. So, but the accommodation was surprisingly okay, I think. But there's a lot of stuff that you have to pay that you never knew about before. Things like TV license in Germany, and just surprising things that you have to pay for. It's very strange. You would never know about it unless you come and experience it yourself. And nobody told us about this before, so yeah, it was a bit of a surprise. And you don't really want to pay for something you don't really use, and that's what I sort of think it's expensive for
a student.
It's almost like you're paying for you buy a coat and then you just leave it in the shop. What's the point? But I think it's Germany and Britain are quite similar in terms of living prices. I do think accommodation, student accommodation, is a lot more expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of school fee, I think it's roughly the same as in Jamaica. I think also for German students, it's cheap. I think we pay more because we're not subsidized. But it's not that expensive as in compared to the same. I think it's the same as in Jamaica.
Okay. But so you're saying you find it to be reasonable, not expensive.
I mean, before I came here, I was renting an apartment, so obviously that's an additional expense.
Definitely.
But it's a part of growing up. You can't live with mom.
Of course not. But what about the costs for food and utilities, all these things?
I mean, utilities again. I don't think it's that.
Okay.
I mean, it's not
comparatively. Okay.
Especially when you're living in a situation that, I mean, of course, in Jamaica you can probably find places for cheaper, but it wouldn't probably be as standard, so to speak.
Okay, well, I like that you highlighted the fact that, of course, we have to grow up. We can't live with mom and dad forever. So that being the case, for students who are coming, this would basically be their first time venturing out on their own. What advice would you give to them on how to budget?
Budget? Well, I mean, if you're an international student, the first thing is that they already give you a budget. They give you a €720 budget. About 200 to 300 goes to rent, and depends on if you have gains or not. If you work out, you can eat less food. Some people who not working out eat less food. It's probably €120 per month for food, and you have enough money to
€120 per month is a lie.
Food.
That's a lie.
No, if you're not eating extravagantly and you're not working out, you can get to 120.
I would say safely €200, €100 per 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your experience thus far. I mean, you've been here for over a year. So what has that been like living in Germany as against Nigeria, where you're from?
I think the Germans are very, very organized, and in my country it's a bit organized, but the people are not so organized. Everyone is always in a hurry, and so no one wants to wait for any other person. But here in Germany, it's a different experience. Everything is timed. We have the transport system always accurate, and for me, that change of environment was exciting at first. Exciting for me.
Okay, good. So let's talk about some of the student struggles that you've had to overcome since being here. So how did you overcome the language barrier as an international student?
Before coming, I started learning basic words. I put in Morgan and choose.
Oh.
But I realized that wasn't going to help me.
But it
So
has
much.
helped to some degree, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you start the conversation with Morgan and then they start engaging in the conversation and you're lost and you're just staring at them.
Oh yes, a challenge.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how exactly do you deal with the struggle of the cultural misunderstandings? Like for me, for example, certain words that I would use back home, I'm sure they wouldn't mean the same thing here. Like in Jamaica, for example, the word hush can be used to mean sorry, when generally that means shut up. So have you experienced anything like that? How has that been, the adjustment from Nigeria to Germany?
In terms of vocabulary, I wouldn't say I've had this kind of scenario. But yes, sometimes when I try to use some slangs with my friends, people from other countries and different languages, they are like, they don't understand what I'm saying, and I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. And I try to explain. And sometimes when we speak, because I'm from Nigeria, in Nigeria we speak so fast, and then you're trying to talk to people who are from other parts of the world, and then they're like, sorry, what did you say? And it's always happening every time. So I just had to learn how to slow my pace down when I'm speaking with other students. Yeah.
That's interesting. Do you speak any other languages?
My local language,
Which is?
Yoruba.
The other difficulty that I have to ask you about is how exactly do you cope with being away from your support system, your family, your network, and what would you say to other internationals, whether it be students or just individuals here who have to deal with that also?
It hasn't really been so stressful, and because we have lots of social media platforms nowadays, so it's very easy to keep in touch with Skype, WhatsApp, and Instagram. And I know, yeah, you don't get to have this feeling of them next to you, but seeing their faces and hearing their voice also helps.
Oh, so what about, how do you interact with people here? How does that help you? Because even though we have, social media in this day and age, there's still that need for, I guess, physical contact, being able to speak to somebody, in real life, in actual life. So how do you deal with that? Do you mingle? Do you go out, talk to people? Did you build a network here? What would you recommend to other people who are here starting out? How to go about doing those things?
I think it helps to be very friendly. For me, I have lots of friends from all the countries represented here in the South, in the university. And for some of these different people, I get to see certain similarities with my people. I see it in them. For example, I have lots of Malaysian friends, and they're always together and they're always so loud. And most of the time when I hang around with them, they just remind me of Nigeria. And this same experience too. Like, you see certain similarities in certain nationals, and it helps.
Okay, good. All right. Well, I would also say, to add to that, just like I was saying before, I would recommend that while here, that people just take the initiative, because for me that has helped a lot. Taking the initiative to put yourself out there, meet other people, mingle, and that will help with the adjustment period. But enough about me. On to our next struggle. How do you cope with the financial issues? From being here, there's definitely a difference in currency. So for how do you deal with that?
For me, I think I just try to stay on the budget, and tried as much as possible not to make card purchases. So I just withdrew the money I need to spend for the month, and I tried to live with it. Yeah.
Okay, so why did you decide to come to Dessau to do your master's? Like, what prompted you to become an international student? Why not do it locally?
Because I felt for a master's program, it's supposed to be an in-depth study of what you studied for, whether you're bachelor or a different course. I felt Germany was going to give me and provide for me that in-depth understanding of architecture, and the fact that Germany is very good in terms of infrastructural development and construction, so it was important in my decision to come to Germany. And also the fact that it's not so expensive compared to what you would get in other countries like the United Kingdom, United States. So yeah, and also because of the Bauhaus.
Agreed. So with all of this being said, the only other thing I have to ask you is that now that you are here, I mean, I'm sure it was quite a journey to get here because Nigeria is close by a long stretch. So what would you say, or inform us rather, on how the application process is for a Nigerian student coming to Europe?
I don't know, I think it's one of the most stressful process of the application.
Are you trying to discourage my viewers? Imagine.
No, I'm trying to be very honest.
Okay.
I speak with other students from other parts of the country, of the world, sorry, and the processes are very different. For us, you first of all have to get your admission, and after you get the admission, then you go to the bank to open an account, and for that you have to book an appointment.
Is that account blocked, or it's just a normal account?
Just a normal German account.
Okay.
So you open it to the German embassy, and for that you have to book an appointment, and it takes like sometimes 2 weeks. And after they book an appointment for you, you open the account, and then you book another appointment for the interview. And sometimes it could take like 2 months. Sometimes you might be lucky to have it in 3 weeks. And after that process, you have to prepare for the interview questions, and they ask questions like what's the name of the head of your department, what are the courses you're going to study here in Germany.
Quite detailed, huh?
Yeah, so they'll ask for how many countries are around Germany, who's the president, who's the chancellor, and the mayor of your city and stuff like that. So you have to prepare, like, read current affairs of Germany, just because you're coming for the German visa interview. And after that, then you wait for your confirmation, after which you must have logged your accounts. Yeah.
Okay, great. So is there anything else you'd like to add for anyone out there who intends to, whether it be study internationally or move from their local country to an international platform?
Yeah, I think first of all, they also need to do a lot of research. Like, find out what's common there, like for example, foodstuff, what they have there, the type of sockets they use. Yeah, language is also very important.
And that's it. Okay, we'd like to thank you for spending the time with us today and enlightening us on how to deal with some of these daily struggles of international students and individuals. And we hope to see you again. Sign us out in Yoruba.
Choose.